the lighthouse keeper's voice. Isidro Emendiraga had spent half his life at the Ponta Negra lighthouse, a weathered stone spire rising like an accusing finger over an eternally raging sea. He was a quiet man, his face hardened by salt and wind. His only companions, the gulls and the ceaseless roar of the waves. The sailors respected him, for his light never faltered, guiding them through the blackest storms. But in recent months, something had shifted in Isidro. It began with the voice. One night, while adjusting the lighthouse lens, he thought he heard a murmur amidst the crashing surf. He dismissed it as fatigue. He hadn't. Slept well in days, plagued by dreams of submerged towers and shadows, gliding beneath the water. But the voice returned the next night, clearer, calling his name. Isidro. It was deep, resonant, as if rising from the ocean's depths. He peered out the window, but saw only waves breaking against the rocks. Curious, he began recording what he heard in his logbook. The voice speaks of a kingdom beneath the sea, he wrote, a place of towers that defy human laws, home to those who never die. Each night, it revealed more, visions of Cyclopean cities, draped in seaweed, shapeless beings, dancing in impossible currents. Isidro, never a man of imagination, found himself sketching in the margins of his journal twisted angles, lidless eyes, tentacles fading into the dark. Soon the lighthouse beam began to act strangely. One night, its white glow turned to pulsing red, casting arcane symbols across the sea. Surface. Fishermen, who saw it from afar, swore the waves responded, rising in unnatural patterns. Isidro and his tower smiled. They called to me, he wrote, and I answer. He began shouting words into the wind, guttural syllables. He didn't understand, but felt were right. The transformation was gradual. His skin, once rough from the sun, took on a wet sheen. His fingers lengthened, webbing forming between them. His eyes, once brown, turned opalescent, like pearls plucked from the ocean floor. A voice urged him to descend, to abandon the lighthouse, and join what awaited one night. Unable to resist, he climbed down the rotting stairs to the rocky base. There among the stones, he found a crack he never noticed. A black gash, exhaling cold, salty air. Isidro entered it. Hours later he emerged, but he was not the same. His body shimmered with iridescent scales, his movements fluid and inhuman. He climbed back to the lighthouse and extinguished its light for the first time in decades. Ships passing that night were lost in the storm, and survivors spoke of a hunched figure atop the lighthouse, singing with a voice that chilled the blood. When a group of villagers arrived days later, the lighthouse was empty. Isidro's logbook lay open, its final words scrawled in green ink. I have seen the abyss, and the abyss has claimed me. Since then, fishermen avoid Ponta Negra. They say that on moonless nights, a red light shines from the extinguished tower, and a voice sings from the waves, seeking new names to call. Thanks for listening. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Turn on notifications and tell us what you thought of the video. And as always, be careful of what's around you.